sókè pamọ́. Mountain back to Atlantic Ocean. Open me hills to book country. To educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah. Focus on Liberia. For Liberia, Liberia. For Liberia, yeah, 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 yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday. It's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs. Hey. In diaspora. Current affairs. Hey. Reliable information. History. Ooh. Talking about culture. Yeah. Politics. Education. Entertainment. Yeah. Business. Sports. Advertisement. Articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Ja.
And I am Anthony Sier, the pleasant welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics. I want to welcome you to this special edition of the Hour of Politics. I have a guest, as you can see. He is comfortably seated. We are here to have an interview with him on things that he has experienced. He is a political mind, my people, and he has been contributing to national discussion. He also has served in the current administration, but he had to leave. Something happened, and he is here to share with us his experiences, his observation, and we will have time to talk national politics. He has a big plan in his mind. He wants to run for president as well. So we will hear from him why he is thinking in that direction. As I said, we will talk about his departure from MINCAT. That is the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. We will talk about his contribution made at MINCAT, the challenges faced at MINCAT, and the Party for the People movement is an institution he is associated with. He is the brain behind it. My guest is no one else but Mr. Nyanplu, who served as Assistant Minister of Information at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. Mr. Nyanplu, it's good to have you. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sier, for your invitation. I'm glad to be on your show. I just wanted to correct very quickly.
Please do.
That we are still proposed, because then we are still in the formative stages of Party for the People. So we're not yet a full-fledged political party. We have about a 2-year work plan laid out before us currently that we have to get through to get to the level of the certification by the National Elections Commission. So we are still a proposed institution. So usually you would say proposed Party for the People, yeah.
Thank you for that very significant clarity. So, folks, you heard it there. The institution he associated with is thinking about gaining party status in Liberia. So, for now, is a political movement that intends to gain political party status and
Yeah.
to participate in national elections in Liberia. Mr. Nyanplu, thanks for that correction again, and I can't welcome you enough. Let's get started right away. We want to get to a lot of things. So, for someone hearing the name for the first time, or those who have heard the name was in the news before and probably may not know your personal side and your professional side, do us that favor and share as much as you can with our people briefly.
Well, thank you very much. I am Matthew Nyanplu. I am your humble servant. Until last November, I was serving in the current administration of Unity Party that is headed by President Joseph Boakai, Omejo Boakai, and that's what I was doing up until November 15, when I expressed my views publicly, to disapprove of what seemed like a showboat from the foreign minister. And just to say to her, you have to do the honorable thing to admit to the country that you have told a lie, and you have to cease telling lies, and you have to apologize to the country because you have Liberian citizens' meager resources at stake here if we continue to peddle in this lie. It was just that the expression of that view that incensed the political class, or those who are around the president, who consider themselves powerful people, that I was even disappointed but that it points to the weakness of the president we have, that people went to him and said, oh, I expressed some views that they didn't like, and then he said he suspended me indefinitely. So that was the job I was working as an assistant minister at the Ministry of Information up to November 15. Before then, I in the previous years before I went back to Liberia in March of 2024, I was studying. I was in the United States here. I studied at Tufts University, where I was pursuing the Master of Arts in Law and Diplomacy program at Tufts University Fletcher School. And then I did some internship in the Washington, D.C. area, and then I did some consultancy with a U.S. Most of the organizations in the United States that are doing international development were called a U.S. business. So it's a U.S. company. EcoDid, I worked there as a consultant, and then that job ended, and I was doing my one two around until when Minister Pia got nominated, and I told him that I wanted to return to the country to pursue, at least to be associated with the government, to add some value to his work. Basically, that was the request I made to him. Now, let me be part of your technical team, because we saw the flaw in the previous George Weah administration, where like writing basic text, just one-page document, people will be misspelling words, people will be writing wrong sentences. So I went into the Ministry of Information to be at the heart of government communication, to make sure that what was coming out of the Ministry of Information really represented the kind of quality that we said our Unity Party were bringing to the Liberian people. So I went in and I brought to bear my full expertise, and I added to the quality of work at MICA. So that was what I was doing. Yeah. So I think basically that's I hope that's it. So I can talk about myself and will exhaust all the time, but I think that summary should be enough. Hopefully it's enough for your audience to understand who I am.
At least that is more than enough. And I think my audience should appreciate that as well. So before we get to, what actually what the main reason for your departure, I know you stated that. Can you tell us what contributions, what observations, I should say, you have during your time. Let's talk about the challenges the ministry have faced, and what level of work were you doing to contribute to resolve those challenges?
It is important. That is a very good question, and I haven't had the opportunity to talk about that since I left. Mr. Sie, our country is in big trouble.
Okay.
Our country is in big trouble. Because if I will use the Ministry of Information just as a macrocosm of the larger public sector in Liberia, then I would say that we have a problem. We have a serious problem.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a serious problem. And while I was at the ministry, I would go to people within the Unity Party hierarchy and I would discuss those challenges with them and where I wanted actions to be taken, But unfortunately, when you all are not in power and when you advocate for power, and this is my experience, I'm telling you, and I hopefully advice I will give to other people. When you all are in opposition and you are advocating for political power, if you are successful, you win. Like in our case with Unity Party that we advocated 2017, we lost. I supported Unity Party in 2017, and I stuck with Unity Party 2023. So fortunately, we won. But then when we won, the Unity Party won the elections, you see that the allocation of roles within the government now was not based on competence or expertise. That was not the factor. And so that is where the problem in the public sector starts. When people advocate and when you win power, the allocation of roles within the structure of the government is not based on the expertise that people are bringing to bear. It's based on the political capital that people evaluate that you contributed. Now, so, I saw that at the start of the administration. You can imagine it took the president about 6 months to form a government because people were fighting. People were clamoring for positions. They were going for positions where they felt positions that were lucrative, where they could be positioned to make the larger amount of money. So that's where we got a problem. And
how do they make this more money? I thought there's a salary structure in place. Is there another way around it?
Yeah, no. So there's a salary structure. But if you become a minister, then obviously you're going to make more than a deputy minister, right?
Yeah.
And when you are an assistant minister, you make less than a deputy minister.
That is correct.
But if you go to say you want to be you will tell the president, say, I want to be the head of NOCA, the national oil company. Obviously, that's a state-owned enterprise. Or like if you are like Amos Stewart and you tell the president, I want to head LPRC, you understand what we're talking about. So your success in securing the position that you tell the president that you want is based on the president's measure of your political capital. Now, so those of us who only supported the president from the periphery, that we know people who knew him, that we who could not walk up to the president to say this is where we wanted to be, or those of us who were not necessarily concerned about what kind of position we have, but we just wanted to make sure that we are in that setup because we advocated, we brought this government to power and wanted to prove to the Liberian people that we brought to you group of competent heads, and the competence will show forth in the quality of work that we're going to be doing. So I wasn't really concerned about, I wasn't dictating to anybody in the Unity Party structure to say, I wanted this role. As a matter of fact, I did not plan to go back. My colleagues were saying to me, oh, you don't need to go back. That was only one factor that took me back to Liberia. I didn't necessarily want to work in the government. Before I left Liberia in the previous, like I said, I was out of Liberia for 5 years before 2024. I left 2019. I was studying abroad in Madrid, and then I moved to the United States. So, and then when I left 2019, I interfered with my law study. So I wanted to go back. When I assessed going to law school in the United States and going to law school in Liberia, I looked at the cost, in terms of cost. I decided to go back to Liberia to finish the law degree there. the bachelor degree of law there, and then come back to the US if I want to do LLM, Master of Laws. So that was my plan. So I said, if I go to Mika, I could juxtapose my responsibility between working at Mika and trying to finish my law degree. That was the main factor that took me back to Liberia, in addition to adding my expertise to the work that was happening at Mika. But unfortunately, what I observed, what we experienced, or what I just said to you, people were giving roles not based on the competence that they brought. And today that's what is still happening. And that is the tragedy of governance in our country today. And we have to hopefully
are there some examples you don't care?
Yes, I'll give you examples. I can use many examples. I mean, like you saw the infighting that was happening before. I mean, like I told you, I said the president spent 6 months to form a government. The one time they will publish a list, they will take it down and correct it and all that kind of stuff. Now, at Mika, where we were, my colleague Daniel Sando, there's so funny things happening at Mika. I want people to know about it. Just how the infighting was working. All right. So Minister Pierre took recommendations. Take for example Daniel Sando, who now Minister Pierre made Deputy Minister of Public Affairs. Before the current job that he occupies at Mika, for 8 years he was special assistant to Yombli Kanga Lawrence, who was senator of Grand Bassa County. So the capital that he brought to bear were twofold. One, he was representing Liberty Party. Two, he was the godson of Yombli Kanga Lawrence, the senator of Grand Bassa County, who became the pro tem, because Yombli had to give up contesting the seat to be vice president to Joseph Boakai. So her political capital went up. So literally she could detect within the executive branch of government who could get a position. So in that case, and then the Minister of PR, who is the head of the Ministry of Information, who I've mentioned this before, based on my assessment of him, Pierre is I know maybe he doesn't recognize it, but he's a personally insecure kind of person. He's not very solid when it comes to he doesn't have a strong background. He's not solid, so he has a crisis of confidence. So the way he maintains himself at the level in which he is to spread his tentacles, to network and maintain relationships here and there.
So in essence, you are saying when you look at the entire government, you're not saying that they are not qualified people, but you are also
the qualified people are misplaced because they may not have the political capital.
And there are people who are not in the right places, and people who grab positions because of connection and political influences, and not on the basis of merit, qualification, and experience.
I'm just using the Ministry of Information on Daniel Sando's situation. Right. So Daniel Sando gets the role. First, they announced him to be Deputy Minister of Technical Services. Okay. And then Bobby Livingstone as Deputy Minister of Public Affairs. While we were in that place, there are a couple of politics that can happen. I was privileged, so I can say that. Let Liberian people know the dirty things that happen in politics. Bobby Livingstone, he's a lawyer now. He one time served as head of communication at the National Elections Commission and stuff like that. But they had to withdraw Bobby Livingstone because I had to call her. Gloria Scott said Bobby Livingstone did something to her that got her in jail. Yeah. So she complained to the president, they had to withdraw Bobby Livingstone. So that position of Deputy Minister of Public Affairs was vacant for a time. And then one morning, Minister Pierre got up from his sleep and he said that he will make Daniel Sando to be Deputy Minister of Public Affairs just because Daniel Sando can talk.
So let's assess the government so we can go to the story that led
so let me conclude on drawing the link. So Sando becomes Deputy Minister. Now, I told you the background he had, that he brought the capital, the professional capital he brought to the job he was special assistant to Yombli Kanga Lawrence for 8 years. I can't imagine myself serving as special assistant to somebody for 8 years. But Daniel Sando was special assistant with Yombli Kanga Lawrence for 8 years. From there, so he's not good to be assistant minister to start because he can't handle technical work. He made deputy minister, and then Pierre woke up one morning and said, "Okay, I will not go into the other details that what happened in saying or doing reshuffle. He made Daniel Sano to be Deputy Minister of Public Affairs. The quality of work that has come out of Mika now is evidence for people to see what I'm talking about. So the inadequacy in our public sector today is that when we are advocating, we all believe that we're advocating for a better Liberia and we'll be placed in a position where we can make the greatest contribution. But when we get power, the dynamic shifts. The dynamic shift because people are placed not based on the experience, the expertise that they bring to bear, but they are placed based on their political capital. Now, I wrote something when I said, okay, if you are lucky, if you're competent, and you get good political capital, that is, maybe the president knows you or the president knows somebody who knows you, you can be well placed. In that case, the country will benefit. But if you are weak in terms of your competence, if you're not very competent, but you get strong political capital and you can detect where you want to go, then the country is going to be at a loss because you are just literally going in that position there and you won't do anything just because you're going to be there just because of the capital that you bring. And that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy in the government. At Mika, that's what it is. Today, I mean, I literally recommended to the people, I mean, after 9 months, after 6 months in a row, I've told United Party people, I told them, I won't call their name, the people in United Party are talking to. I said, go tell the president if you want productivity coming out of Mika, you got to change your Minister of Information. You got to do it. And they haven't done that yet. Man, boss man, I can summarize to you what we're doing at Mika from Monday to Friday.
Yeah, Liberian people deserve to know because
I can summarize to you. Monday,
you're getting paid on the backs of Liberian people. We need to know what quality of work you're putting out there in terms of service.
Yeah, and it's still happening at Mika. Recently, I wrote, I said, if I was still going to be, if I had not resigned from Mika, if I was still going to be there, I was going to be frustrated. Because the kind of thing what they do, I'm not motivated to do that. The big job happening at Mika every day at press conference. Minister of PR, understanding of the job of Minister of Information that to do press conference, he must be heard every day. And that's basically 20% of what the job of a communication person should be.
So what other thing they should be doing that they're not doing?
Boss man, no, you're jumping ahead.
All right, go ahead.
You're jumping ahead. Mm-hmm. I studied the institution until I can teach you what's supposed to be done.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you, I said Monday we'll go to work. We said Monday that start meeting. It took like 3 months for us to have a fixed work schedule. So Monday we spend a whole day in start meeting. Tuesday at the end of Monday we'll be struggling. We'll be running Mika. Just say we're running one radio station. We'll be calling government ministry agency for another kind of press conference on Tuesday. What are you talking about? We are not a radio station. The way you're looking for guests, how Mika can be looking for guests to come to a press conference. I said a radio station will run it. Tuesday press conference. Wednesday, basically, that will find guests for Thursday press conference. That's what we do basically. And then the minister is either traveling with the president or he crossing the executive, he crossing the road to executive mansion 2 hours, we do anything. Wednesday is lost. Thursday we have press conference. After a press conference, nothing happened. And Friday, literally, people don't go to work.
So,
what's man, so that's I just summarize to you. I just summarize to you.
Yeah, the image of the country, telling the world about what country Liberia is, what Liberia possesses and can offer and contribute to the world.
Let me get you the.
That was never on the agenda.
No. So this is the structure of Mika, okay? We have a minister, we got 4 departments, which are headed by 4 deputy ministers. We have the Department of Public Affairs, Department of Technical Services, Department of Culture and Tourism, and Department of Administration, 4 deputies, okay? Administration, that one are the easy job, I don't want to be passing people to sign the check and spend the money. That one, the basic every day. But the technical work, in the public affairs, you made Daniel Sano to be head of our department of they making fun in that place. Let me tell you. So for almost half of the time that we're there, we did not have a deputy minister. I was the only minister in the Department of Public Affairs, but I was in the assistant minister role, and Daniel Sano was deputy minister of technical services. But Pierre preferred to work with how to call him. Pierre was comfortable working with Daniel Sano, the deputy minister of technical services, in the role of a deputy minister of public affairs before he before he made the president nominate him to that role. So for the 6 months before Sano was nominated to be Deputy Minister of Public Affairs, I was the only ministerial person in the Public Affairs Department, but that Daniel Sano was playing the role. Basically, they reduced the role of a Public Affairs to just Public Affairs Minister to appear at the press conference and talk. That's basically what it is. But now this is the setup. This is the setup in the Amica right now. And I think I will say this very quickly before I move on. I said to the good friends in the United Party who are in government, who got a president, I told them, I said, look, you see, we go, and I only have to say this to your audience. You see, there is no structure or organization of work at MICA. So every minister that has gone there, go there with a way of doing the stuff. The work is not institutionalized, it's not systematic. So I told the people, I don't call the guy that there was one person in the party who was so close to me that every time we go to the guy, we'll be talking this thing. I said, we have to systematize the work, or we have to leave a system. So when we move tomorrow, the people come in, they come and reinvent the wheel. This is how the system is supposed to work. Let me just speak about the department I was working in, where I was the only minister for almost 6 months before they appointed Daniel Sano to come. When Daniel Sano came, he came do the job, and he even said I'm behind a dead red one sheet of paper. But that's it. That's another thought. That Department of Public Affairs has about 3 bureaus. The Bureau of Broadcasting, Bureau of Audiovisual Aid, and Press and Public Affairs. So there are three bureaus within the Bureau of Public Affairs, headed by a Deputy Minister of Public Affairs and Minister of Information. Okay. So the people who are there for broadcasting supposed to will be gathering audio content for the government, and they're supposed to broadcast it. The audiovisual people are supposed to go gather audiovisual content and broadcast and store it. Press and Public Affairs organize public event for MICA and for the government if the government needs our expertise. So most time when government going, the government need what they call, we can second our public affairs bureau people there. But those 3 bureaus, department, let's just streamline the language. Department are headed by deputy ministers. Bureaus are headed by directors, okay? So let's understand it. So I will refer to them bureaus, okay? Bureaus. So these 3 bureaus, boss man, for the 9 months in our play there, they didn't get equipment.
Were they virtually dead?
Computer to work with. The people go to that place, they can't even work. We get equipment. Some of the things are even disgusting. And I mentioned it in November, I'll mention it again. All the ministers at MICA before I left, for the 9 months I was there, administration could not buy a computer for us. But we're receiving budget allotment. We didn't have computer. Up to the time I left from MICA, the computer I using to talk with you, that my computer I was using to work with. Then my computer I bought it, that small Acer computer, while I was studying. The workload of MICA that I was doing for the minister, it made my computer almost crashing. I had to complain that I don't get computer to work with, and my personal computer I using I was crashing so. But guess what? July 20th, the minister said we must go commandeer rest from K and get every staff at MICA getting red 20 cedi. Boss man, when you are the minister in that position, I just come ask you some more question, and you really your attention focus on doing the job here. When you get small money that able to buy, what the first thing you will do? You're not buy equipment for the way you can do.
That's what you would do. So I just want to know, at the time you were there and you left up to this time, does the Ministry of Information, the agency of government responsible to project Liberia image and introduce Liberia to the world, does it have a website where any citizen, anybody in the world can say, well, let me go and learn about this country? There's a
website. There's a website there.
Okay. So talk to me about the quality of it. What's there?
Let me summarize the understanding of the work of a Minister of Information by the boss. We should have the press conference, print the newspaper, have the press conference, print the newspaper, go to radio talk show, I think so far at 3, have
Yeah,
press
yeah.
conference, print newspaper, attend radio talk show, issue press release. Are the 4 functions of the job of a minister of information in the Republic of Liberia. That is the top of the understanding of the current minister. Have press conference, print newspaper and a magazine, go to radio talk show, and what the fuck gonna say? I just forget. And issue press release.
statement.
Issue press release.
Yeah.
That 4. Repeat it. That is the summary. From the day the PR leadership of Mika started, these are the 4 things that we've been doing. Have press conference, attend radio talk show, print a newspaper and a magazine, and issue press release. 4 things. Look, Mika supposed to be the hub of government communication, because the way the system operates right now is every agency of government has a public affairs office. So those people, we're supposed to network the system. Minister Pierre mentioned it in his speech. He was hoping to do it. But for the 9 months we're there, we do technical work with that. You know?
All right.
Up until the time I left, we were still learning about what was happening at the different government ministry and agency in the press. We're still learning about it. So after 9 months, after 6 months, you know, I told the colleagues in the unit, I mean, the thing is that if you know somebody, if you just go start working with them, you won't study them. But if you people are doing one thing, the first month you understand what's going on. The first month is repeated. The second month, nothing changed. The same thing, you go over it. Like I just someone write to you Monday, we go, we have start meeting. Tuesday, we have press conference. Wednesday, we're looking for guests to come to Thursday, press conference. Thursday, we have press conference. Friday, nothing happened. If we do that cycle for 3 months, 6 months, and nothing changes, this is the type of the productivity of the person who leads. A basic thing like work plan. You say, work plan. How we work at Mika. They say we're waiting for somebody called Andrew Temen, who was a deputy minister or minister of PR at General Ministry, who can teach us how to work plan. To develop a communication strategy for how we will communicate this government here. They say we're waiting for USAID and the US Embassy to can teach us how to work plan, how to can do communication strategy. These things, as a professional bossman, I went to school. I thank God by the grace of God. I went to school, I learned. So what I was doing at Mika was just like 20% of my expertise. But that was basically what the expectation of the leadership was. Nothing more than that. When they needed to write good paper, they would come to me. When minister, he quit, you know, the guy quit to just zoom in on something. When I do write good press release, we call Nyanplu. As soon as an instruction comes from executive management say Mika has to issue the statement on behalf of the government, that time I get where to do. So that's how it was.
Let me for that. So you had to leave because something happened. The Minister of Foreign Affairs negotiated a scholarship package or program on behalf of the Liberian government for Liberian citizens to benefit. From your research, you realize that that scholarship was fake, was not real. The individuals that she dealt with, they were not.
They were extorting money. They just wanted
there were people that wanted to extort the Liberian government. So the whole scholarship was meant to actually cheat Liberian people and actually defraud the government. The president of Liberia was made to launch this program by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So when you research, they said, no, this is not real, this is fake, this is not real, you alarm. And then that got you into trouble and you were suspended.
It didn't get me in no trouble. It didn't get me in no, I don't consider myself getting myself in trouble because it just showed to you that our president, you see, the president level of integrity is not very high. So stealing, lies, that commonplace for he can tolerate them. Yeah, with the how to describe it. Because look, if we had a president whose level of intolerance for lies and corruption was very high, Sarah Yanti not supposed to be in your job as we speak today. She's not supposed to be foreign minister. Sarah Yanti made the president to go launch a program where for Liberians to benefit. The first thing they start asking them to pay money. I think like 75. I don't know. I remember the money. The first money they said they must pay, I know 75 that you or something. But the cost was going even up to 200 or more plus.
I remember. I know you in space, but I remember.
Sarah made. So at the time, I really held.
I want to put the cards on the table. Hold on, Nyanplu. I remember your boss then, Minister. Yeah. He was on national TV, national radio.
Yeah.
And he said this program
he promoted it,
would take Liberian students outside of Liberia to the United States and other parts of the world for a 4-year degree program. And after that 4-year degree program, they will stay for another 2 or 3 years.
Let me correct you that 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. 2-year master degree, they say in STEM program, and then 3-year OPT, 3 years to stay and work in the United States. That what is the how they marketed it.
Right. And he said that was going to happen in real time.
And he said that the government was taking the loan on behalf of Liberians. He said that the government was taking loan to support Liberians and bro. I can tell you what his exact words were. The exact word were there. He said this is the best. He said 4 billion. Let me quote Minister PR. 4 billion. He said 4 billion debt that were waived after the Civil War. We get 4 billion debt. But we get nothing to show for it. In my view, according to PR, unquote, in my view, this $25 million loan that this government is taking to support 250 Liberians to go abroad to go study, this is the best loan that the government are taking in the history of Liberia. The Minister of PR was saying that. He was talking about something he know anything about. And that's why yesterday, you say you watched the video I made yesterday, and that's why yesterday when they issued that statement, distancing themselves, saying that the thing that happening on Capitol Hill, that internal matter, that's why I got incensed. Because the people are habitually lying. First Minister Pierre, he did not even understand what Sarah Yanti was marketing. He joined the forefront of it and started talking it. Look, if our country was a country where integrity was very high, brother, Sarah Yanti and Minister Pierre, they ought to resign that job. They ought to be out of the road ever since. Because when you make a public statement and you say this is the government of Liberia action, and it turns out to backfire, you lose your credibility with the people already. But those people stay in their job today. So that's where we are. What got me into trouble was simple. I wouldn't say trouble because I left with good conscience. I don't want to leave the job. I told you can't corrupt me. That's why I told you, say the president told us because the president he left for all his life, he been corrupt. So corruption is something that he can tolerate. Me, I can tolerate. The standard I raised for public service is so high that any semblance of corruption is, I don't want to be associated with it. But Sarah Yanti action, when Liberians started coming, they say, oh, the person will pay $250, will pay that. I was in the Ministry of Information, Bossman, representing the government, trying to protect the government image, government public image, Bossman. There is nothing credible to save the image of a government than an official of government telling another official of government say you lie, apologize. There is no action that can save the integrity of a new government than one official of the government saying to another official, what you saying is not true. Liberians should not make use of that. You should apologize to the people. Liberian, you don't listen to that.
So it turned out you were right and they were wrong, and that was
up to today, the people have not repented.
What is the status of that scholarship program? That
nothing happened. So up to today what? We are in April 25th. Yeah. Sarah Yanti said the first batch of the 250 people are going to come in January. Let one student show you that in the United States on the basis of that program. That will show me one.
So if you were in the shoe of the president, giving this monumental fake and scholarship, what would you have done?
It is very, bossman, I told you it is very simple. Sarah may, if I was the president, Sarah, our foreign minister, you made me to come announce a program that the next minute they start charging Liberian money to pay for it, and I was not aware. The thing I was talking that Liberian, first of all, if it became my knowledge that Liberians will be charged to pay money for it, it will not even come near the executive mansion for me to talk about it. No government official will be associated with it. There's something called insider trading. You know what insider trading, right? You inside the government, then you won't be marketing other people things. So what Sarah did was she was marketing for Nicotech. So that conflict of interest.
When she actually working for the government of Liberia.
She working for the government of Liberia. You can't market something that Liberian people should pay money for the benefit. That insider trading. So once so first thing, when I come here, the executive mansion, no official government will be associated with it. But even if it was not clear to me, and I made a statement saying this is a good program for Liberia to benefit, and it became clear that I charging Liberia to pay money for it. The same day Sarah she didn't get job. The same day she didn't get job.
Mr. Nyanplu, you also have...
Then Minister Jeremy Pia, he too, I would suspend him.
Have you having some disappointment here, given the way the government campaign promises is made and looking at the way the government is governing? Do you think that the government is doing something completely different from what it promised it would do or how it will govern?
I have a personal disappointment, and that's the reason why we are entering the political race.
Okay.
The disappointment is personal because I put my character on the line to campaign for Omen Joseph Boakai, even when I was a talk show host, 2017. Announcing to the people of Liberia that Omen Boakai is more experienced. He brought a stable, a steady hand to transition from Mr. Sirleaf to the new Liberia. I had so much confidence that with age comes experience, with age comes a higher level of integrity, with age comes with a greater level of intolerance for corruption. Unfortunately, what we see, even just the basic action they took against me, try to make me to look like the wrongdoer. Up to today, that Sarah has not proven me. So the thing is that she has not proven me wrong. I said this is a lie, this is extortionate, this is fake. We should not be promoting it. Today, that's where my word left. They tried to save it. They brought a lady from Ghana, appear at Mega press briefing. It still did not make the people anybody to benefit. First of all, there is no $25 million loan that government of Liberia took on behalf of anybody. Sarah announced at Mega press conference said this was a $25 million loan work study program that Liberian government has secured. There is no contract anywhere. First of all, you know, the loan, anything that is loan agreement should be signed, supposed to be announced and negotiated through the Ministry of Finance, right? Ministry of Finance Development Planning. But yeah, Foreign Minister announcing to the country that we had $25 million loan. You had the Minister of Information announcing, they said this is the best loan that the government has ever taken to educate its own people. I said I will lie. 5 months after, nobody has proven me wrong. And nobody has come out to apologize to the people. Like, nobody has come out to take responsibility and apologize. They are just going ahead like everything okay. They don't care. They're concerned about integrity. So this is how they believe government should be. And what struck me, when I did my public comment at that time, the Minister of Information was writing me in very uncanny language. And one of the statements he made to me that I still have to today, he said, it is not the place of a minister of government to say the truth. I want to repeat that so your audience can, I want to put that on record. I have it in my text messages. The Minister of Information saying to a junior officer, say, I tell you, say this live from the Minister of Foreign Affairs cannot go unchallenged. And he replied to me, say, it is not in the place of a government minister to say the truth. If this is the belief of the person who is your Minister of Information, I wonder. But you know what you know why it is not strange? Because even the person who is the president, he doesn't have higher standards. If he had higher standards, what is that we're complaining about today would not be there.
Mr. Nyanplu, that is a very serious charge that the president does not have
Omen Boaga, I can repeat that. I want to put it on the record that Omen Boaga doesn't have higher standard. Omen Boaga doesn't have higher standard when it comes to corruption. His level of intolerance is low. The president who is the inspector general at the Ministry of Commerce tried to steal a degree from the University of Liberia. He stayed in his job today. He stayed in his job today. What Omen Boaga has done, what has he done? Is that a president who has a higher standard?
Apparently, investigation is ongoing.
What kind of investigation are you talking about? The University of Liberia investigated and published their finding. Recently, the University of Liberia revoked the man's degree and Doc Cooper degree. And Boaga still keeping him in the job.
The last time I heard from the press secretary that this is not to the knowledge of the president.
Kula Jackie, look, Kula, she's a colleague. She's just keeping her job. You know, and so you know what Bobo priority on when people make all the noise about good governance.
Mm-hmm.
They put priority on their need being on the payroll and they getting their salary every month. At the end of the month, everything should be fine with them. They will never raise their voice if it would threaten their paycheck.
Let's talk about the rule of law. The Supreme Court came down with clarity on its previous ruling, and the Supreme Court this time was not ambiguous. The Supreme Court was clear that Franti Cobra remains the elected, legitimate, and constitutional speaker of the House of Representatives. The Supreme Court ruling is law. Supreme Court is the final decision maker when it comes to justice in Liberia. But the president, who campaigned on the rule of law, is saying, well, I don't think so. I'm going to do business with Richard Kuhn because he has quorum. Is this about quorum, or is it about legality, constitutionality, or justice?
I just told you the president get a standard not very high. The intolerance for corruption, that level is very low. I just said that. So what would you expect from the president who is corruption is a way of life for him?
These are serious charges.
Anthony,
President Walker has lived in his house. I heard he lived in his one single house for years.
You can live in your so what if you can even live in your one single house and be corrupt when your nature is corrupt? It doesn't mean that I don't know what is the relationship between living in one house and not being corrupt.
I mean, you don't have appetite for material wealth, and that does.
Well, corruption. What is corruption? What is corruption now? Corruption is corruption just going to take money and steal it?
Taking things that don't belong to you.
Just misappropriating public money? Corruption is seeing bad things and allowing it to happen because it concerns you, that corruption too. Because you say it not concern you too. Or corruption is also overlooking the laws and trampling the law because you believe it sets your ultimate gain, your ultimate end. That's also corruption. Corruption is
with the president. Do you have qualms with the party, Unity Party as well? Do you have qualms with Unity Party?
Corruption is also when the president, allows himself, or when the president sells a program to the Liberian people, it turns out to be a charade. It turns out to be outright lies, and then the president does not take corrective measure. That's also corruption.
What do you want the president to do about the Doe Cooper case?
No. Let's take on that rule of law. So you're asking me about.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Asking me about rule of law and all the kind of stuff. Look, what happening today? The Oman just told you, right? And he just told you, he wrote in a statement. He said that he will work with the quorum. You will work with the people that get quorum, right? And what he put in a statement, he will work with the people that get quorum. That's where we are. That's the level of that. At least that's the level of our governance. And people he doesn't have a higher expectation. But for me, in public service, that standard is way too low for my comfort. Yeah, I can't be that. and it's sad for our country. It's a disgrace to our country. And because we believe that Unity Party or the previous political party that were in power do not represent the standard of governance, the standards that we have been espousing from the time we were in mainstream media, advocating in the hope that Oman Bwaka represented that standard. There was a standard that we had in mind: intolerance of corruption, making sure you're doing everything right. For which we say this person represented the best person that represents our view. We still have that standard. We're still going to stand for it. We're still going to uphold it. We're still going to defend it. That's the reason why we're saying this time around, we're not going to be sitting on the fence and advocating, do it wrong. The other party doing the wrong thing, advocate. No. We are going to present ourselves to the Liberian people, outlining a course of action, a direction in which we want to take the country, and we'll give them the choice to give us the opportunity to lead. That is our political path forward. Moving forward, we're not going to be campaigning for another group of people to say these people will do this. No. Moving forward, we will put ourselves on the political field and say, Liberian people, give us the opportunity to serve you, and you will see how governance can work.
You have always identified yourself with the Unity Party. You say here you campaign for the Unity Party in 2017, and this going election 2023, you also campaign for the Unity Party.
Yeah.
What has brought you to the point now that you rather put yourself forth and not the Unity Party?
Unfortunately, the people do not. Unfortunately, they don't have high standards. You see, I could not have evaluated that. I could not have made that determination when we were in opposition. I've only been able to make that determination when we have power and we see what they're doing with it. And we see what they're doing with it.
Unity Party
we
is
have
not
power now. We have
Mm-hmm.
power now. Unity Party has power now. Sarah Bezlo Yanti told a lie. I said she should apologize to the country. The president suspend me for speaking the truth. Nobody from within the Unity Party goes to the president and say you should not have taken the action against Nyanplu. Nobody has. I said nobody has publicly broken with the president to stand with me to say that I said the truth. Nobody has said that. Everybody's saying that. They're talking nonsense on Facebook and saying that, and I follow procedure.
Is there a procedure to tell the truth in government that you did not follow?
Maybe Oman Bwaka and the Unity Party, they've set a procedure for that. I don't know about that.
Did you find that procedure of telling the truth in government?
I don't know what kind of procedure. They wrote something in the letter that said that I don't know. I did not follow a breach interagency protocol.
Is there anything like that you know of?
That was nonsense. When they gave me my appointment letter, I was just one flying sheet in an envelope. I didn't have time to even go into I didn't have time to litigate what they wanted to do because they didn't have a case. That only certain people felt threatened that my nature and what they are used to were antithetical. They saw me as a threat. If I continue to stay in the government, I will continue. Because the first time I wanted to raise my voice, I wrote a 3-page op-ed I wanted to publish in the newspaper while I was still in my role. And I only passed it by the Minister of Information. I say, you see your people at the Ministry of Finance, we are in a situation where they complain and say, oh, we make money in the cover. That was just the early days of the government. We don't have plenty of money. But their first strategy to write a development plan for Liberia, they say they won't hire 2 consulting firms. You won't get money that you won't go look for consulting. Consultants can bring good quality to the work. But when you are a poor country, you must learn to look within.
I thought you had the expertise. The Unity Party have been boasting about the expertise, the qualified people, the competent people.
So the first time I was going to raise my voice on a government action was when Ministry of Finance announced that they were going to spend $1.1 million to write a development plan for Liberia. I said, you say you get money, that you spending $1.1 million to write development plan? But behold, I can tell you, you know who they are to get the stuff though? They give it to their friends. Took out give you Macintosh there, that they put them first. They gave it to Super Bele and the other ADMA people. When you go look, when you dig deeper, you see who all behind these different friends that say they were writing. The people are screwing the Liberian people all every time.
So now you are saying you are tired with supporting the Unity Party because they're not standing for anything that they
I have
preach.
broken
You
with
are
them.
going to put yourself forth. And
Yes.
do you see a possibility of success? How do you intend to arrive at your destination here of attaining state power and
We
standing
have
up
the
for something?
Unity Party right now. They may have state resources at their disposal, but we have the credibility, and we will litigate our credibility. We'll litigate their incompetence and corruption before the people of Liberia. And the people of Liberia will make informed decisions. They will say, no, look, you can't continue to keep a government in power
Have
that
the
just
people of Liberia made any such informed decision? Mind you now, Mr. Nyanplu, Tiawan Gonglo, I believe, until that is proven to not be true, to be a man of integrity. Even in Liberia, he's been referred to as Liberia's integrity icon. He put his integrity on the ballot, and Liberian people rejected that. So you're going to be the one to take because you are young?
Now we have a credibility. We have a credibility. We have a credibility, and we have a message that we're going to send to the people. In 2017, we said we are noted for saying to the nation, George Openwea and the CDC will fail you. The people did not listen to us, right? And they voted we are 2017. 2023, from 2017 to 2023, George Weah actually proved what we said, that he was going to be a failure. And he became a failure. The people recognized, corrected their mistake. We said to them all along that Omen Bwaka and Unity Party, they were going to represent something good. Unfortunately, they turned out to be not what our ideal, level of governance is. What we had in mind when we were supporting them. So when they decided to take corrupt action against us, to silence us, to tarnish our image, we resisted them. We said, no. I'm not going to sit here for Liberians to be extorted. We're not going to sit here for that to happen. The president wanted to make us to look like the bad person. We resisted that. We resigned and said, no. Mr. President, you can take your job, but we'll keep our integrity. And since then, the president has shown consistently that he doesn't have higher standard.
So the president
that is what we're going to be. That is the message.
Has never reached out to you. Has anybody in the government reached out to you since this incident happened?
Nobody has reached. The person that reached out and said going to was the vice president. I was about the country, but I have confidence in what he was saying to me. And moreover, I didn't want to go be appealing to President Bwaka for my right. The fact that President Bwaka has not recognized that Sarah Bezo-Yanti told a lie, I was saying the truth, it means I can't accomplish anything with him. We can't negotiate anything.
All right, folks.
The only thing I'm working towards right now is to make sure that Unity Party doesn't have a second term. Is to make sure, by the grace of God, take leadership of our country and demonstrate to the people of Liberia in deed and action what good governance actually is, what obedience to rule of law can be. That is what we're working on now, and that's what we're going to pursue for the next 5 years. And we'll continue to pursue leadership in our country, even beyond 2029. We're going to shape the future of Liberia into a modern democratic state that is not going to be beholden to people who want to continue to suck the blood of the Liberian people by leeching on the public press for the rest of their life while our people continue to be poor. It's not going to happen in our lifetime. And we want to start putting an end to that from 2029, and we're going to do it.
All right, folks, if you have a question for my guests, the number to call is on the screen, 605-313-6004. Enter the code 791-403#. That is a conference number you can get on that number. I will take your call, and you can either make a comment, you can ask me a question, you can respond to some of the things he said. Let's hear from you. Mr. Nyanplu is here to take your question if you have one, or to hear from you as well. Again, the number is on the screen. The number has been posted in both Facebook and YouTube live stream there, and you can log there. You can have the opportunity to call. So, Mr. Nyanplu, back to you. Money becomes a major factor. We are talking about Ile Gongaware and others not coming close to the Unity Party that you don't see eye to eye right now. All right. And Unity Party had a strategy to pull funds beyond Koga. And then Unity Party succeeded. Other candidates that you might see as, much better candidates, they didn't even come close. They won this thing with 52.08%. Ido Gongowell that came a second, she had a deficit of 21,000 votes. You think from now to 2029, the Liberian people that you are betting on, you say you have a message, you have integrity. I think I won't have message, had integrity. I think at some point people have message, had integrity. They were rejected. Why you think your case gonna be different?
I'm not Gonglo. I'm not Tipote. I just told you I'm in the unique position. I have evidence. I've been a towering figure in our political affairs. I advise the nation, do not vote George Weah. He will be a mess in power. And Weah proved to be a mess. So Weah has been written out already by Liberian people. I advocated for Unity Party in the hope that we all have an ideal standard of governance that we're working towards. Unity Party, the basic thing of just not telling lies. I decided to hold that standard. The head of Unity Party said, no, in this country, we get in our culture, we can tell lies. The Unity Party Minister of Information telling me, say it's not in the place of a government minister to say the truth. And he still has his job. The UP people, all the noise that they make, they are beholden to their paychecks and their bank accounts, while the rest of the people go hungry. I have evidence to prove to the Liberian people to say, my people, we can't continue to advocate. We have to take action ourselves and take action with us. And the Liberian people will buy that message. Moreover, by the grace of God, we got H in our favor. So we are determined to battle it out with all those cabals out there who want to make leeching on the public press a career for them. We believe our message will share with Liberian people, and they will give us the opportunity to demonstrate how a country can be different. Look, we have a plan, we have an agenda, we have a plan, and that plan, no other political party has it. And when we attain 4 political party status, we will roll it out to the people of Liberia. And so there are simple things, simple things that we want to do for the people of Liberia so that our country can be better. That the politicians, because they're more concerned about their names being on the payroll and getting paid, the money rolling to their bank accounts, that people believe that everything is okay. You know, our people are hurting. Take, for example, rent. As soon as you and I will live in the West today, does anybody charge you to pay 1 year rent when you go negotiate a lease? No. But that is what is happening to our people in Liberia. And time and again, nobody talks about it. That is going to be center stage of our political campaign. We want to change the regime of rent. We want the government going to enter the rental market in Liberia to say to landlords, please, we're going to change that regime of you charging Liberians to pay 1 year down payment to lease a place. We're going to move to a month-to-month regime. That is a message that will sell to the people of Liberia. We're going to say we are determined to say that no one within the borders of Liberia will go hungry. Look, when a government ministry is able to purchase furniture, a sheet of paper, or buy gasoline, or buy scratch car and give to people, there shouldn't be anybody within the borders of Liberia who should go to bed hungry. As president, nobody will go to bed hungry. You come to the executive mansion and you say you are hungry, you will get food to eat while we try to find a way for you to be able to take care of yourself. The government should be a government that takes care of the people of Liberia. If it means that we'll turn Liberia into a socialist state, we're going to do that until all our people can have something to do to sustain themselves and their family. This is going to be our preoccupation.
Mr. Nyanplu, we will definitely invite you back here and focus on Liberia to specifically talk about your ideas and your plans that you have that you want to bring forth to the Liberian people through the institution that you are working with. Because you will agree with me, I have not seen any serious plan from any political institution. These bullet point list of things will do, they will do that. I do not call those things plans. I want to see a plan that is laid out for health, for education, for infrastructure, and how you will get the money, how you will be able to dispense that money with accountability measures behind it. I really want to see what you're going to do about natural resources. Our political parties don't have that plan. You will tell you, we'll do health, we'll do education, we'll do this. That's all I see from unity.
That's why we're not talking.
I want to see something different.
We're not going to be mentioning health. We're not going to be mentioning we're not going to mention that, because that's the mantra. That's an excuse for people who want to steal from the people. We're going to mention concrete things that will directly impact the people of Liberia. Health, education, that are the default things that the government is supposed to. By now, we're supposed to master those things by now. But we want to take care of the Liberian people. We want to test the Liberian people at their point of need. Our people are suffering today. Place to stay, living place. We want to take action on that. The rental market is something that right before us. So we'll have another time to talk about the vision that we want to roll out to the people of Liberia. We'll have time for that. But look, we want to wrest power away. Look, the people who've been going government, come here. Let me just call you come and say, that I always speak to our government, in the Palawa Hall. The people who've been going,
be a comrade, yeah.
The people who've been making noise about politics in our country, that's only an excuse for them for their need to get on government payroll and for them to get free money rolling through their account. Once that happens, everything else is okay, everyone else is fine. That's not going to happen with us.
What?
That's not going to happen with us.
His name is Matthew Nyanplu, former Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, who had to resign his job. According to him, he told the truth about a lie, and he was told it is not in the place of a government official to tell the truth. And because he lives his life based on the truth and nothing but the truth, and he believes that public service should be about telling the people you serve the truth, he had to say, I can't be here because I came here to serve my people by telling them the truth about their conditions and not to just succumb to lies just because I want a paycheck. Paycheck will not build Liberia. Telling the truth and doing the right things will build Liberia, because paycheck should be there for us anyway, because we all deserve that, and that should be provided by the nation. My brother, I want to say thank you. As we will say, look in the camera and speak to your people, your parting statement.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sia, for the opportunity to appear on your platform and talk to your audience. It's been a pleasure here for me to speak with you, and we're going to be making more of these appearances as we prepare ourselves to pursue political power in Liberia. When we sat on radio and advocated governance perspectives, we did that with all our passion. Today, we have seen both sides of both options. Unity Party, CDC is just about the paycheck. There are 5 million Liberians or more in the country. They estimate the maximum number of people that government can employ is around 66,000. That is just less than 1% of the people in the country. So governance cannot just be about taking paycheck. And that's basically what we're going to put ourselves forward in the political field. To say, Liberia, you're going to look our way. Look our way. Stop allowing people to hustle on your backs. Look our way. And by God's grace, we will be coming. Thank you, Mr. CA.
You heard it there. Stop allowing people to hustle on your backs. Look seriously and consider those who will be there for you. Mr. Nyanplu, we want to thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Like I said, we'll be reaching out to you in the very near future to hear your ideas. Look, my friend, I tell you this much. Ideas are so pivotal. They are so important. Idea build iPhone. Idea build America. Idea is everything. And if you have other ideas, you're done. And it's in the good book. But I will not go there because I'm not a fan of that good book, because a lot of people are using that good book, to corrupt our people. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Right. All right. Now, we close the broadcast with the song that says, "We are indeed all Liberians." So until we see you again when we can on another edition of the Hour of Politics, enjoy this song.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.